This video you see here was taken at the Chick-fil-A in Surfside Beach, and it's been seen over 22,000 times on Facebook. It shows a man approaching a worker right here who's a World War II veteran and thanking him for his service. Well, we wanted to meet that veteran to thank him for his service too, and it turns out there's a lot to his story. So here's your good news tonight.
We're gonna serve the next guest. Is this gonna be for here? Or are you taking it to go? So just sit this on your table. We'll bring it right out for you, okay? My pleasure.
This place is a pleasure indeed. A home for your original chicken sandwich.
And then I'm going to the clock in.
And also to this one-of-a-kind man.
What's the #1 question people ask you?
How old you are? How old? Yeah.
Born exactly 8 years and 1 day apart from Chick-fil-A's founder, Houston Blansett has a history much longer than the lunch rush lines.
I went in the service when I was 16 years old. I figured out what day I'd have to be, month I'd have to be born to be 18 years old. That was the end of World War II.
You lied to him?
I lied to him.
You stretched the truth?
I stretched the truth back big time. But back then, you're right, I thought I'd get by with it.
What made you want to get in the service so much?
A lot of the war was going on. I had a brother that was in service at the time, and he stayed in 23 years.
At 16 years old, Houston left to train in heavy artillery in Texas before being thankful he was shipped to France for cleanup instead of the South Pacific. He was a medic in Nice and recalls being transported on bales of hay and trains and a close call on a C-47 when the engine failed.
They were out looking for us. They thought we'd crashed in the mountains.
Oh, gosh.
3 years in Europe, and something else sticks out in Houston's mind today.
As a child, I had a speech impediment. Yeah, oh yeah, and I went in the army. Oh, it was murder. I couldn't talk. That sergeant would chew me up. He knew I was there. He'd chew me up and down now, and he said, "Don't they teach you to talk in Alabama? Don't they know how to talk in Alabama?"
Back home, even Houston couldn't believe his life's next step.
Yeah, I can't talk, I have trouble talking. I do not want to be a preacher. I did not want to be a preacher. But I couldn't get away from it. In '54, I started pastoring.
His impediment, no longer a thorn bush, now a juniper.
One of my favorite scriptures I love to preach from is the 55th chapter of Isaiah. Everything okay, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, my pleasure, sir.
After 65 years of pastoring and devoting his labor to what satisfies, he moved to the Grand Strand.
My pleasure.
And just like age didn't stop him from getting in the Army, it didn't stop him from applying at Chick-fil-A.
You call yourself a shoo-in?
Yeah, yeah.
Almost a year into his job here, Houston will tell you his favorite part of the day is rush hour and the guests he greets.
I kid with people. I tell them, I said, I've got to do something for you because it makes me look busy.
And he leaves you with a conversation that sends you out with joy and leads forth in peace.
For a boy that stuttered so bad he couldn't answer anyone, as a child, well, I ended up talking to people, they'll draw me into the conversation.
What makes working here? What makes you happy? You're still walking around.
I love people. I love the people here. It gives me a chance to meet people, to talk to them. And I don't preach to people. I don't judge people. But as they start talking, they'll ask me why or how am I doing this. I say, I'm a blessed man.
Houston will be 90 years old this year, and to top it all off, he's a newlywed. After his wife died in 2010, he reconnected with an old friend and married her 2 months after a phone call. You can bet we'll be there to celebrate Houston's birthday, and from all of us here, thank you for your service, Houston. Well, if you have a good news story like this you'd like to share for This Is Carolina or Embrace a Veteran,